You're listening to the Roofing Success Podcast, a show created to inspire roofing contractors to achieve optimal success in their roofing businesses. I'm the host, Jim Moline, the co-author of the book, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors, How to Triple Your Sales and Turn Your Roofing Website into an Online Lead Generation Machine. I'm also the co-founder of Roofer Marketers, the digital marketing agency for the roofing industry. On each episode, I'll be sitting down with industry leaders to talk about their processes, the lessons they've learned, and how to find success in roofing. Hey, Jim Moline, back with another special episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. You know, with the COVID-19 epidemic crisis going on right now, we're really trying to provide roofing business owners with the things that they need in their business today to keep things moving and to thrive, to thrive coming out of this crisis, right? So, I've been looking for some of the best guests in the industry to talk about some of these topics. And of course, I've come across, with one of them. Lynn Foster is the Director of Operations for AccuLynx, which is, one of the top business management solutions, if not the best, for roofing contractors. And, as the Director of Operations over there, he's collaborated with top industry professionals, technology partners to enhance the customer's experience within the software and developing short and long-term strategic plans, based on real market analysis, in overseeing sales systems, forecasting, and process improvements. So he's a person that I really wanted to get on the show to talk about this topic. His expertise in business development and financial planning and sales and vertical marketing have led to a continuous success in growing AccuLynx as a company and even during times of economic recession. I know AccuLynx was started in 2008, wasn't it, Lynn?
We were founded in 2008, yes.
Founded in 2008. So founded, almost in the midst of the last crisis. So I'd like to introduce Lynn Foster. Lynn, if you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself and your role at AccuLynx, and then we'll start to, talk to these people about what they can do virtually these days.
Sure. So like you said, my title is Director of Operations, and really what that entails for my day job is, that's the business side of the software company. So even though you have software that everybody sees and they use our application, the software company is still a business, and somebody's got to run the business side of that. So that's where I concentrate most of my time is really on the business side of it, on the financial side, logistics, and a lot of the operational things. But also, I've been around with the company since 2012, about 8 years now. We wore many hats back in those days. And one of the things that I was tasked with really was the strategic partnerships that we had within our industry. So, that would be with manufacturers of the tech companies, a lot of the distributors. So I've developed, quite a network in the industry of other, C-level and management people that we can kind of get together and say, okay, how can we bring our processes or our systems together to make the roofing contractor more productive? And that's one thing I do concentrate quite a bit on is working with those other industry people on how that either we can share AccuLynx, or we can share the way that distribution service works, or we can share some manufacturers' recommendations, all of that combined within AccuLynx. So that's sort of what I do.
Great. So I've been telling our clients and people that as we're producing content, we're a marketing agency, and one of the things that we do on a day-to-day basis is speak to the fears of the consumer, right? That's kind of our job, is speaking to the fears of the consumer and getting them to help, overcoming those fears in relation to the roofing company and making sure you're building trust with them in those ways. And we found that there's really two new fears that have popped up that in today's climate. And one of them is the fear of physical contact, right? With all of these all of the coronavirus, everybody's staying at home. You're at home now. I'm working from home these days. It's we're speaking to the fears of that consumer and trying to alleviate those fears. And I think that one of the main things that alleviates their fears is the ability to explain in detail how technology can put a process in place. Because in the roofing business, you're not really you don't have a whole lot of you're not in people's personal space a whole lot. But so how are you seeing roofers kind of increase their flexibility and their ability to work from anywhere during this coronavirus crisis?
So one of the things that we talk about all the time with AccuLynx is AccuLynx really does two things. It organizes you and it makes you communicate better, right? So in a time of crisis like this, one, you have to be organized because you have very little opportunity to get in front of a homeowner or a potential customer, right? If you're a roofing contractor. So whenever you do have that opportunity, you better have all your ducks in a row, right? So you need to be organized from that standpoint. And you better have all that information with you. If they call you and you don't happen to be in your office or sitting at your desk, you better have all the information with you, whether it's on your phone, tablet, or whatever, right? So that's organization, making sure it's all right there. And the other side of that, of the two items would be communication. How do you communicate with people? And communication can come in so many different forms. In today's world, with what we're looking at, communication could be, a Zoom call or a FaceTime call or a Skype call where you can show them photos that you took when you were up on the roof. It's the ability to do an estimate and send that to them digitally and have them sign it and return it to you without ever, meeting you face to face. Although they might have met you, via a video conferencing call. That's right. But they don't have to physically be in front of you.
That's right.
So there are many ways to communicate with the customers now with a platform that has that stuff built in. Another thing would be, automation. If you have emails that say, I saw that you hit our website and you want us to come out and take a look at your roof, or maybe you called and you have a problem with your roof. They're going to come out there, but right before they come out, maybe as soon as they assign that lead to a salesman, it can then automatically send an email to the homeowner and give the bio of the salesman, include a picture of the salesman. So whenever the guy comes out, they know when he's coming, they know a little bit about him, they know what he looks like. So there's types of automation that can happen with technology that makes the homeowner feel much more comfortable. Same thing with the delivery. You schedule a delivery for the installation. And as soon as the delivery is scheduled, you automatically send an email out to the customer saying, this is when it's coming. This is where we're going to put it in your driveway. All kinds of possibilities there.
For sure. I like that. We've been talking about, we help our clients with this, but I try to push people every day to get those bio videos and things like that. With or without this crisis, it makes a huge difference in the sales process. One thing I want to touch on is communication. It was kind of funny last night. Or yesterday afternoon, I turned on the television and we got the screen is up there with the camera pointed at the empty podium and the countdown clock going on. And my wife walks through the living room and she's like, they're doing another press conference about this? And I said, yeah, they're doing another press conference. And I had a thought in my mind, and it's during this time, with the help of technology and just with sheer effort, is really you have to have communication that is on a level or above the level of the fears of your the consumer these days. So using the automation and video biopics and doing all these things, you're getting above that, right? You're communicating on a much higher level and a more frequent level, because people are just wondering, right? They're wondering what they can do during these times. So, what are you seeing roofing contractors kind of moving towards in this time? What have you seen them move away from and move towards then? In terms of remote selling, let's start with remote selling.
Yeah. So, in the past, go back 3 to 5 years, or even right before, the coronavirus hits, most people or most roofing contractors try to instill confidence with a well-branded truck, right? Yeah. Or a guy coming out and they've got a nice polo shirt on in khakis, and it's branded, and they've got the company logo.
Yep.
So what they're trying to do is visually instill confidence in that homeowner the second they see them. So now what you have to do is you have to do that digitally, right? Because you're not going to get in front of them.
That's right.
So now whenever you send them all of the correspondence or you're booking things, you have to give them confidence digitally. So that would be with a consistent message. That would be with a nice, clean format that comes over in the emails that you send.
Yep.
Maybe the proposal is nice and clean and looks professional. So it's all of these ways that you're communicating with them that shows them that you're a professional.
Yeah.
That's quite different from filling out an estimate on a 3-part form, taking a picture of it and texting it to them.
That's right.
Are you going to hire that guy without seeing him? Or are you going to hire the guy that sends you an email, that inside the body of the email is your estimate with, and maybe you attach some pictures to that email, but they can also click a button and digitally sign that. Which guy are you going to have confidence in?
That's right.
Right.
That's
so
right.
it's really all about using the digital platforms that are out there, and that's when we're building AccuLynx and we're looking at things that are coming in the future. It's all about making it paperless and making it frictionless. So the make it as easy as possible for people to sell, produce, and collect, right? Because that's really what you're trying to do. And you become efficient and you become a contractor that's extremely successful. You're really shortening three things. You're shortening your sales cycle, you're shortening your production cycle, and you're shortening your cash cycle. And the only way you can do that is if you're organized and have great communication.
For sure.
That's if you just did that and concentrated on that, you have to really, really work at it, but you can get there.
You do. And it does take work, and getting all these things set up, or, it does take work. And I know you're that AccuLynx has a lot of these features built into it, but still adding your own elements and all of your own, your own style of communication in your emails and things like that in doing that, when we build websites for clients, we're always doing the same thing. We're have pictures of the crews with the shirts and the trucks and the, that image, all of their awards and associations and things like that. So including those types of trust factors, maybe in those emails, saying, hey, I'm a NRCA member and I'm I'm a part of the local chamber of commerce, and having your logos built into those emails and things like that, having a professional outlook. What are you seeing from things have changed really quickly. Are you still seeing, leads coming into AccuLynx from that marketing efforts of these companies, or is that kind of slowed down?
Well, we still have companies that are working. We can tell that, we can tell by the levels of activity, especially in the South. The North is a little slow right now to begin with anyways. And to my knowledge, I don't think we've had any big storms yet. I don't recall hearing any of the last 3 weeks or so, but we're just hitting the storm season now, right? Where people really have to ramp up no matter what, right? When you start damaging things, you got to fix it. So, but getting back to what you're talking about, the way that you're building websites and use the same things, you can still set yourself apart, I'll just use AccuLynx as an example because I'm familiar with it.
Exactly.
But when you look at these emails that you're sending out, those emails are completely customizable, right? Yeah. It's not just a canned email that every single customer that is using, or every single contractor that's using AccuLynx is going to send the same thing. You can put whatever in there. You can format it any way you want. You can make it totally different. We have a feature called Smart Docs, which is really meant to eliminate paperwork. So you take all of the forms that you have right now, and you can scan that, create a PDF of it. You move it into AccuLynx, and then we map fields into that and make that a digital form that then is filled out on an iPad. But it still has your feel, your look and feel on it, right? Your logo's there. Yep. It's the same form that your salesman's been using for years. It's just now digitized.
Yep.
So, your competitor's not going to have that same form. So if you have a 4-page inspection that you go through, scan that in, make it a Smart Doc, and just do it on an iPad.
Yep.
And then when you're done, the great thing about it is when you're done, you can email it to the homeowner if you want or not. But also it's automatically saved into the job file, right? Yeah. So you're not worried that's the organization side. So you get this great communication piece that you built that's digital now. And then when you complete it, it automatically gets organized and sent to the place where it needs to be so anybody can find it. So there's a lot of customization that can take place there.
Yeah, and that thanks for putting that together for me. My thought was a little off there, but that's where, you're really trying to, and to your point, was stepping up and making sure that these customers feel comfortable with you in this time of, in this time, because during these economic crises is where, where you're going to lose a lot of your competitors if you do it right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And not that you're putting them out of business, but the ones that are not adaptable and the ones that don't have the ability to present themselves in this manner, they're going to have a rougher time than the contractor who can put these things into action and keeps that professional feel and is professional on a different level through the digital side versus just that face to face. So what other tools do you guys have that help the contractors remain productive during these times of limited contact?
Sure. So one way of a digital scheduler, which is, think of it as a digital whiteboard. So as you schedule your jobs, you picture the old whiteboard sitting up in someone's office where they were moving the magnets all around. We really have that on your computer screen, right? So you drag and drop the jobs. You can see when the deliveries come in. And the great thing about that and what makes it productive in a time like this is, let's say, you could really run a roofing company remotely, yes, right? If your salesmen are running out of their house, your production manager is running out of his house, and then the owners are running out of their house, the whiteboard is on your computer, right? So now you can see the production manager is scheduling everything. The salespeople can see right on the screen when their jobs are being scheduled. So things like that make it more productive when you're apart. We also have a crew app. So in most companies, whenever they assign jobs to a crew, the crew's going to stop by the office in the morning. They're going to get the paperwork. Or maybe they get it the night before, however you do it. And then they know where to go, right? But you print out basically a labor order for them with the address and the information, and they go to the place. Well, we have an app that they can download onto their phone now, and they can receive all of that digitally. They can say whether they're available to work. They can accept a job, decline a job. They check into a job. They mark a job completed. They also have the ability to take pictures on that job and make comments on that job that load right back up into the job file. So now you've got your crew communicating with the salesman, the production manager, the owner, everybody, just because he's taking pictures and taking notes, and it's going right into that job. When it goes into the activity feed of that job. So everybody can see what's going on, and nobody's gotten together, right? You're still all apart doing what you need to do, but working as a group. Yep.
That's awesome. And then maybe have your morning sales meeting on a tool like Zoom or something like that. Yeah. And now everybody jumps in on the Zoom call in the morning. We go through the production schedule and boom, boom, boom. And with tools like Zoom, you can do a screen share probably of that whiteboard, and show it to everyone in the, so everyone's looking at it at the same time and everyone's on the same page. And there you go. It's amazing how much technology, is that there is the technology to do all of this. And how do you think because we have some clients that use AccuLynx, and I want to know your opinion. I always look at the feature sets that you guys have and the amount of features that some of our clients are using, and I'm like, man, they could be using so much more. What kind of training do you guys have? Training that you have for to kind of get these contractors up and get these systems in place a little bit efficiently and quickly?
Yes, we do. So when you start with AccuLynx, when you first sign up, you are assigned an implementer, and that implementer will run you through a series of trainings, online trainings, and they'll start out with how to set the company up, just the administration side of it. Yep. Then they'll look at helping you set up all of your templates to do your estimating and all your proposals. And then they'll get into the production side of it with your production people. Then you might have another session where they train your sales guys, on how to enter leads and make comments and do an estimate and all of that stuff. So, and it's the same trainer every time. and it's an online, but it's live online. So you can
Okay.
ask questions, you can share screens back and forth. It's not just, hey, go watch a bunch of these webinars and we hope you learn. We actually have an interactive process, just like we're doing right now on Zoom, and we actually use Zoom. Is what we use.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
And so we do a screen share, and then the trainer will talk people through it. If they don't understand, they'll take control of the screen and they'll show them how to do it.
Yeah.
So we have those. Now, once that's completed and you're up and running, then we have a ton of webinars that you can go to either refresh yourself or look at new features that you may want to use. Or we have a live tech support crew as well. So you can actually call in, and we've got live tech support. They'll talk you through it. They have the ability to, to screen share if they need to.
Yeah.
So there's all these different ways to look at training. And, as far as using everything, I don't know that there's anybody that uses all of AccuLynx.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't ever worry about using the entire platform, because every business is a little different.
That's right.
And some businesses just don't, let's say that you only do, cash or retail work. Well, you would never use some of the insurance features that we have. Or maybe you are just a restoration person and you don't do, retail work. Well, there's some features there that you wouldn't use.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need permits in your area, so you wouldn't use that. But some of the main things that everybody uses, everybody tracks their leads inside of there. The photos and the document storage, the notes that you put into a job. Those are the core features that organize you, and just as a contractor, make you function. It's shared information, and there's one repository, one space that it all gets stored to. So once you get everybody trained up on using those simple features, I mean, you can be running on AccuLynx in 3 weeks. Your entire company, you can be running in 3 weeks. Now, you're not going to be an expert at it, but you can be running in 3 weeks. And then in, say 2 months, I'd say you're comfortable, very comfortable, and all your people are comfortable. And it's really not that hard.
It isn't. And that's what I've noticed with some of our clients recently is, like, even with just Zoom, right? Zoom was this kind of mythical thing to a lot of people, that don't do technology on a day-to-day basis, or don't do remote conferencing and things like that on a day-to-day basis. And I'm just like, here, this is how you do it. And they're like, oh, that's it. I'm sure you guys get a lot of that too. Oh, I just click here. Oh, okay, good. That
wasn't that hard.
Yeah, that wasn't that hard. And that's what technology is supposed to do, right? It's supposed to hide the hard part, right? It does the hard part for you, and that
right.
And so I don't want this to be a commercial for AccuLynx, because we're just putting out great information to customers. So I do have to let you guys know there are other systems out there like AccuLynx, but AccuLynx is definitely one of the best systems out there. There's JobNimbus and Jobber and all these others. So I want to tell people that it's more important that you are doing something and getting yourself to be able to work virtually in this environment. Whether you use AccuLynx or another platform like it. I'm sure that Lynn will tell you the benefits of using AccuLynx over JobNimbus and Jobber pretty quickly. But I just want you to know, that make sure you guys are moving forward and doing these things. So, let's talk a little bit more, not specifics about the platform or the tools that are available in the platform, but what are your thoughts? What can roofers do, maybe to prepare for the future and establish a competitive advantage for the rest of the year and coming out of this crisis? What types of things, advice would you give a roofing contractor today that would help them prepare?
Well, if I was in the industry as a contractor and things were slow, right now I would absolutely be working on my processes. I would be refining all of the processes. I would make sure that from the time a lead is established, or even maybe how the leads are established, but let's just say from the time a lead's established, you can start there. From that moment on, there should be a process all the way until that last check is collected and the last correspondence goes out saying, thank you, it was nice doing business with you. Would you please leave a review on our performance? There should be a process from the very beginning to the very end. And if you don't have that, now is the time to fill in all those gaps and create those processes.
Yeah.
And really think them through, and not just one person sitting down and doing it, but getting the people in that department and coming up with a a comprehensive view on this is how we should do it, and then document it.
Yeah.
And then get it out there and start using it, and then refine it, make it better. And that it's a constant improvement cycle. But this is a great time to develop your processes and make sure they're documented and everybody's trained on it, so that when you can hit the ground running, you know exactly what to do. And it allows you also to expand, right? If you're going to scale and you have to spend 2 or 3 weeks with a salesperson out in the field showing them what to do, you're going to lose. You should be able to train a person and have them selling roofs in 1 week.
Yeah.
And if you have a great process set up, and that's not just the training process for those salespeople, but it's also how they sell, right? They just need to know how to sell.
Yeah.
And if you have a great process, the roofing side of it takes care of itself.
Yeah.
So really all you have to do is just make them comfortable with the terminology, and you can do that within a week.
Definitely. And this is that time. This is going to be the time to refine, right? Time to refine all those processes. And, if you're fortunate enough to be able to keep all of your employees on payroll, I know that some states are already on, complete lockdown and no one's able to work. So I know a lot of people are getting laid off, and it's a very difficult time. But if you're able to keep some of these people on payroll, and even if this is all you're working on through this time period in building these efficiencies, building out these processes, that's going to be a major impact on your business coming out of this. And the stronger you come out of this, the better chance you have of succeeding on the other end of this. It's going to be tough for people who don't change.
I would also look at, the other side of this is you really start to think about, or you should start to think about, what's your marketing plan when this is all over?
Yeah.
Right. And are you supplementing that right now? Every person that has a computer is online reading right now.
Yeah.
So this is a great time for Google ads, right? Just do Google ad buys, do Facebook buys.
Yeah.
It's a great time to get in front of them and just develop that brand recognition, and also let them know that you're still around. You didn't go away.
You're still around.
Exactly. That you're still here. And then when you're putting up the advertisements and the information you're giving, it's not a hard sell at this point in time, right?
Yeah.
Right now, it's all about, it's about information and how can you weather the storm. Maybe if you're a contractor, you put some information out there on maybe ways to temporarily fix your roof until the contractor can come look at it. All kinds of different ideas on how to do that. Now, I'm not sure we want people up on their roofs, but that's just an example, right? Just out there. But you really should start working on your marketing currently to stay in front of people. Yeah. And then also, as soon as things start to break loose, what's your plan? You can't start to formulate the plan then. It needs to be sitting there waiting. And as soon as things start to go back to normal, you kick the plan off and you go. But I think, the digital ad buy right now is really important. It doesn't have to be huge, but you need to stay in front of people.
Yep. The Google ads right now, what we're seeing, we manage pay-per-click advertising, Google AdWords for a lot of clients. And what we're seeing right now is, even if you have a huge budget, you're not going to be able to spend it. There's just the demand is down right now.
There's not enough clicks.
It's the supply and demand thing. But would you rather be there for that 1 or 2 or 5 people per week or per day that are searching for this? Get them into your pipeline, nurture them through the crisis. If you're in Pennsylvania and you can't do a re-roof right now, hey, nurture them through this time period so that the day that this crisis ends for you, you're in production.
Right.
If you have to then, if you wait until then to turn on your marketing, now you have to fill your pipeline again and then get to the production days, right? So, and then get to your checks, right? You're extending yourself out if you don't use marketing right now. Great ideas for using informational type content versus, people are going to be on social media a lot these days, right? And there's going to be a lot less ads in their news feeds because all of the hotels, all of the restaurants, all of these things are pulling their advertising for good reason, where you can take the place of that in these people's news feeds, especially in Facebook and Instagram, for a very cheap cost. Pay-per-click marketing, you don't it doesn't matter if you have a huge budget for it right now. You're not going to spend it. But the second this ends, you want to be there and make sure that, that those deals are coming in.
You want to make sure,
Yeah,
I was going to say one thing is you want to make sure your messaging is
Yes.
correct for the time as
For
well,
sure.
right? Like I said, right now is not the time to sell. So your messaging is all about education and reassurance
and information.
and
Yeah.
then have the messaging ready when it's
That's right.
time for, let us come out and take a look at your roof. And then the messaging after that is it's time, for the, we're running specials or whatever.
That's
You're not
right.
going to run roofing specials right now, right?
That's
It doesn't
right.
no good. Yeah. So make sure you have those lined up and they're different messages for different times.
Yeah. Don't have a COVID crisis discount running right now.
Yeah. That's, that would not be good.
No. And we're still in an emergency service. There is still emergency services to be done in the roofing industry too. Repairs are still viable, even in the states that are doing the stay in place orders and things like that. They're allowing for repairs to continue. So if that can be part of your business during this time, make sure that you're doing that. Make sure that you're getting the tools and the people in order. What are your thoughts on the people, right? Now that, as these things shift around, I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of good salespeople available. When this ends, there's going to be a lot of good production staff available. There's going to be some roofing crews out there that really want to get back to work really fast. And if you're the company to do it, you're going to be able to benefit from that.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, starting off with crews, they're not on roofs either. So it's going to be,
That's right.
it's going to be whoever has the jobs first.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to take care of your existing crews out of the gate. But if you are faster to market and you're ramping up quicker than other people, it's a great time to pick up more experienced crews.
For sure.
And then from a sales standpoint, most sales guys, actually almost all sales guys, are on some sort of a commission, right? And
That's right.
whether they're pure commission or whether it's a percentage of their income. So right now they're really not getting much. So as soon as you come out of this, they're going to be hungry, and it's a great time. To be honest with you, it's a great time to maybe let some people go that are not a fit for your culture, and it's a great time to potentially pick up some people that are a great fit for your culture. So
Sure.
that's one thing you have to look at is if you do have to cull the herd a little bit. It's, this is a time when you say, okay, I want quality and culture both. I just don't want quality. You might have a guy that's $1 million salesman, but he's a pain in the ass. And it's a time where maybe you pick up a guy that's $500,000 or two guys that are $500,000, but they fit the culture and they believe in the company.
Yeah.
So, it's time to think about that.
Definitely. So let's, if you want to give everybody the information of how they could get in touch with you guys over there at AccuLynx, if they haven't, if they don't have this system in place right now, if they haven't implemented, or if they want a better system, if they don't like the one that they're using right now, what are the ways that they could get a hold of AccuLynx, and what's the process to kind of have that conversation with you guys about getting this implemented in their business?
The easiest way to do that is go to AccuLynx.com, AccuLynx.com, and click on the request a demo button. And then you'll fill out your information and we will get a hold of you, and we'll set up a demo time, and we'll show you the software from beginning to end. So you can ask any questions you want along the way. Or when they first get a hold of you, maybe you're not ready for a demo, just ask a bunch of questions. They'll answer them. That's the easiest way. And then also our website is loaded with the features of AccuLynx, testimonials, all kinds of great information just on the website alone.
Great, man. Appreciate it. We'll put the links and everything in the bio. So, continue to keep improving your business, everyone. This is a time where the companies that keep doing the right things are going to succeed. Make sure you're doing the right things. Take care of your families, take care of your communities. And this has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. If you would like to generate more sales through your digital marketing efforts, please visit roofermarketers.com and get a copy of the book, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors. how to triple your sales and turn your roofing website into an online lead generation machine. Also, check the training section of the website for guides on everything from running effective pay-per-click ads to how to properly set up your Google My Business listing. This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. Thanks for listening.